Oh man, I got
Arrested.
and I don't want my security job to find out. I got
Arrested.
and I don't want my security job to find out. Eh, it don't work like that. They will find out, right? So, welcome everybody. Welcome back to Mr. B's podcast. I'm Mr. B, and I just told you exactly what we are going to talk about in this video podcast today, right? So, there are a lot of people out there who are security guards in the state of New York. I think the last statistics that I saw published on the state's website said it was, I think, maybe 400,000 security guards in the state of New York, right? That's 400,000 personalities, 400,000 different people, 400,000 qualified security guards who do a good job. And then out of that 400,000, maybe there's no way you can say that none of them will ever have any type of issue or run in with the law. It's just not being realistic, right? Everybody is different. Everybody goes through the ups and downs of life, right? It's just happens, right? But security guards do get arrested on the clock and off the clock for doing various different things, right? So, if you think that when you get arrested your job's not going to find out, that is simply not the case, right? Being a security company owner, I will tell you what goes on behind the scenes, right? So, you just got arrested on whatever day, on a sunny Tuesday eve. You walked into the supermarket, right? Actually, you walked into the game store and you said, you know what? I want that PlayStation 5. I need that PlayStation 5. Or I need that Xbox or that gaming PC with that powerful GPU in it. But wait a second. I only got $2 in my pocket. How the hell am I going to buy such a luscious system? So your ass decides that you're going to try to steal it, right? And you get caught stealing it. So police come, do what they do, boop, 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 boop. Next thing you know, your ass is in processing, central booking, right? You're there, right? What are they going to do? They're going to process you. They're going to start building a record on you with DCJS, right? Division of Criminal Justice Services, right? I think that's what it is there. Yeah. Let me think. DCJS. Yes, that's right. So at any rate, they're going to take your fingerprints. You're going to put your hands on this thing that looks like a little box that has a display on it, that has a little green laser on it, and they're going to take your electronic fingerprints, right? And that electronic fingerprint is going to go directly to DCJS, right? The people who manage security companies, security professionals, right? Their licensing, right? They deal with criminal records, also Department of State, right? So as soon as your electronic fingerprints get sent up into that system, right? Sent up to the state. This is what's going to happen, right? It's going to set off a series of events and a series of red flags. No matter the arrest, right? Misdemeanor, felony, it doesn't matter, right? So then the office in Albany is going to, okay, well, we see that such and such is a licensed security guard with such and such agency, right? We're going to send John Doe, let's say that's the person who got arrested who's a security guard. We're going to send John Doe a letter saying, of course we know that you got arrested. Now, we want you to explain yourself and why you should hold on to and still be licensed as a security guard in the state of New York because you got arrested. We want to know your thought process, why you did what you did. Explain to us that you are not a risk now. Explain to us why we should trust you still being a security guard, right? Being around other people, being inside of establishments while they're closed, right? We're entrusted not to do anything that's criminal, right? They're going to want you to explain. And I think they're going to say within 2 weeks, you have to explain yourself. And if you don't respond in 2 weeks, they're going to pull your licenses and you will not be able to work until your case is over, right? So at the same time, while they're sending you that letter, they're also sending your employer a letter, the same exact letter almost, right? If you are registered with that security guard company as a security guard, the state will send the obviously, like I said, they're going to send you that letter and they're going to send your job the letter. And in the letter to your job, it's going to tell them exactly when you got arrested, what you got arrested for, what department arrested you, when your next court date is, and where the court location is, right? So your job is going to find out. There's no, if it's a legitimate licensed watch guard patrol agency, which in the state of New York is a security guard company authorized to do business in the state of New York that has insurance, workers' compensation, blah, 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 right? They're going to get a letter very quickly. I'm talking about very quickly. We're talking about maybe within a day or two, depending on, the mail, blah, 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 whatever. But your job will almost immediately find out that you got arrested and why you got arrested. Now, why do they tell your job, right? Because as a security company agency working as a proxy of the state of New York, right, for DCJS or Department of State, blah, 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 whatever, right, we are a proxy of the state. We do what the state tells us to do, right? We are operating at the good graces of the governor and the secretary of state, right? So they don't want us having security guards running around who may, quite frankly, be criminals, right? And unfortunately, even though you're saying you had just got arrested, right? Even though you have never seen or been able to give your side of the story, right? All we know is that there's now arrest record generated on you based on your social and fingerprints, right? It's kind of unfair for your job to be roped into it, but hey, you're a security guard, buddy. You're not a cop, but you are like para-law enforcement, right? You're a proxy of the state. So the state wants to be very careful about who they allow to be security guards, right? So they may, in that letter, it's going to say, like I said, everything already. It's going to list everything that happened, and it's going to say that we gave John Doe such and such amount of time to explain his or her arrest, and if we don't get a response back in such and such time, we may revoke or suspend their license until their court date is over. Now, if you choose to ignore the letter that they're going to send you as the security guard who got arrested, you're going to get another letter saying your license as a security guard is hereby revoked. You are to return the original cards to blah, 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 blah. You are no longer to work as a security guard in the state of New York. The same letter will go to your job, telling your job, hey, look, pull John Doe off the schedule. We have revoked his license. He or she is no longer allowed to operate as a security guard in the state of New York. This happens very quickly. I'm talking about within 2 weeks, right? That all of this can transpire. So I'm going to tell you now what you need to do if you are arrested as a security guard, right? You need to take the initiative and show the good faith, right? Show that you're trying to do something good, even though you may have did something bad, right? But you're innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. But having a professional license bears a little more accountability and responsibility, right? So what I'm telling you to do, if you do get arrested, within 24 hours, contact your human resources at the company that you work and tell them that you had got arrested and the reason why. I mean, you don't have to go into too much specifics, but just you can tell them, hey, look, I got arrested for shoplifting. I got arrested for whatever, right? I took that PS5 off the shelf and I walked out of that store because I didn't have enough money. and now I'm in trouble. Tell them. There's no way that they're not going to find out. They will find out, right? And things might be a little easier on you if you're forthcoming with the information. You take the initiative to tell them, because at the end of the day, they might be able to help you and tell the state, or maybe call the state and be like, hey, look, John Doe just told us that he got arrested, and you guys are probably going to get hit on the fingerprints, and we just want to get a jump on it and let you know that we're on top of our stuff. John Doe is forthcoming with the information, and I think he or she's trying to do a good thing, right? Will the state care? Probably not, right? Because you allegedly committed a crime. But then again, you never know. So, again, if you get arrested, don't think that you're, again, this is the state of New York we're talking about. Everything I just told you is only related to the state of New York. If you get arrested, let your job know. Don't think that they are not going to know, because they will know. They will definitely 100% know. I'll say that again. They will definitely 100% know that you got arrested, what you got arrested for, when was the arrest, who was the arresting agency, when is the next court date, and where it's going to be held, right? Because they're just going to know. Everybody's going to know. There's no way around it. We're state agencies here. So to avoid all of that, your ass shouldn't be stealing PlayStation 5s. Like, come on. Like, what the? Really? Security guard, 5-finger discount, right? No, 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 no. You shouldn't be doing that, right? The right thing to do would be to, build up some extra money, work a couple of extra shifts, maybe some overtime to get enough for a PlayStation 5, right? Because now I have no idea what the PlayStation 5 costs. Just call it $500, right? How hard would it be to come up with $500 over 6 months, right? Instead of wanting something then and there and now, right? So now something that costs $500. Think about this. The PlayStation 5 costs $500, right? You got arrested. They took the PlayStation 5 back. Now you're in jail, right? Now you're potentially losing time from work to have to go to court. You're losing time from work to deal with attorneys, right? Now you have to spend way more than $500 to get an attorney, right? And it's just ridiculous. So now $500 turned into what? $500 turned into whatever it's going to cost. $5,000, $10,000 to try to clear your name in court. But if they've got you on camera stealing it, buddy, it's probably a done game. It's done and over with for you, buddy. Should have never stolen. I'm sorry. But in the state of New York, they'll probably have you pleaded down to something else. Maybe pay a fine, maybe do some couple days in jail, maybe some community service, blah, 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 blah. But that's just the way it is. But just know that record would still be there, that you got arrested, and your job will know everything about it, right? So moral of the story is, don't try to conceal stuff, and don't try to steal stuff. You're a security guard. Like, what are you thinking? So until next time, for the time being, like I said, don't get yourself in trouble. So I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves.